This video will focus on the historical aspects of the generals and officials from the Three Kingdoms period of China, but will also include information from the romanticized version of events at times. Guo Jia was an extremely talented advisor who devoted his abilities to Cao Cao, serving him for 11 years. His foresight and counsel became crucial towards Cao Cao in uncertain times, and he was deeply missed after his passing. His tactics helped secure the foundation for the Wei Kingdom, especially in dealing with Cao Cao's rivals Yuan Shao and Lu Bu. Born in the year 170 from Yingchuan Commandery, Guo Jia was recognized among locals for his foresight and intellect since a young age, where he decided to distance himself from the lower class. Instead, he decided to travel the country mingling with the scholar gentry, as this was the best way for him to further his career. By the age of 19, he was not known to many, but those important few that did recognized his talents and cherished his friendship. Around 7 years later, he made his way to Hebei as he considered joining Yuan Shao's forces, but he did not deem him worthy and left. Before his departure, he joined a discussion with Guo Tu and Xin Ping, where he stated, "An intelligent advisor should be prudent when he chooses which lord he wishes to serve, so that his lord will heed every piece of advice that he gives. The advisor can then establish his reputation. Lord Yuan wishes to recruit men of talent to serve under him, but he does not know how to tap into their abilities. He focuses too much on unnecessary details and neglects the main points. He likes to listen to many ideas but is indecisive. It is difficult for him to save the empire from its troubles and achieve hegemony over the various warlords." Around this time, Cao Cao was struggling to replace his main advisor Zizhi, who had passed away earlier. As he was a recommendation from Shun Yu, Cao Cao came to ask him who could replace him, to which Shun Yu suggested Guo Jia. The two soon met, where they discussed and strongly agreed upon policies, strategies, and the various happenings of the time. Cao Cao recognized Guo Jia as the man who would help him achieve greatness, whilst Guo Jia also saw Cao Cao as the worthy lord he wishes to follow. By the year 196, at the age of 26, Guo Jia earned a minor official role serving under Cao Cao, the current Minister of Masses for the Han Imperial Court. This minor role was a newly created one by Cao Cao. It was a civilian position with no real power, where he essentially became a secretary. This made it easy for Cao Cao whenever he needed Guo Jia's counsel. Cao Cao asked Guo Jia's thoughts on dealing with Yuan Shao, who had a much larger army and was also making aggressive moves to the north. Guo Jia stated Yuan Shao may have many men, but they are useless. He then went on to list 10 advantages Cao Cao has over Yuan Shao, and correctly predicted the outcome of the conflict years before it happened. The 10 points that Guo Jia said to Cao Cao are: Yuan Shao is overly concerned with formalities, whilst you behave naturally. You win on principle. Yuan attempts to unify the land from an outside position, whilst you use the Han Empire's authority to command respect. You win on righteousness. Yuan Shao accepts his followers' bad behaviour, whilst you uphold strict laws sternly and equally among your followers. You win in management. Yuan Shao pretends to show faith in people, but actually only trusts his family. You fully trust those that you have placed faith in and promote based on merit. You win in tolerance. Yuan Shao is hesitant to make decisions, whereas you are decisive and adapt to changes well. You win in strategy. Yuan uses fame to recruit and boost his own name. You are sincere and recruit based on people's skills, not their titles. Many loyal and truly capable people are willing to serve you. You win in virtue. Yuan Shao shows concern for the suffering people, but only when it's obvious. You may neglect smaller issues whilst you focus on larger ones, but you are connected to the masses, and the rewards you issue are more famed than Yuan himself. Even though it may not be obvious, your care and concern towards others is complete. You win him in benevolence. Yuan Shao's followers bicker and advise him based on personal agenda, which leads to troublesome advice. Your followers have been disciplined with the correct principles, so corruption does not occur under your leadership. You win in wisdom. Yuan Shao fails to distinguish between right and wrong. You punish and reward accordingly, and understand the reasoning behind it. You win in culture. And finally, Yuan Shao likes to display bravado, but does not understand the crucial elements in war. You defeat larger forces with smaller ones. The soldiers look up to you, whilst your enemy fears you. You win in military skill. Cao Cao was deeply flattered. Guo Jia went on to say that they should deal with Lu Bu before Yuan Shao defeats Gong Sun Zan in the north, otherwise the two might ally and we will be in deep trouble. Cao Cao agreed, and so they began preparations for battle. Around 196, Lu Bu had seized Shou province from Zhang Fei and forced Liu Bei to flee to Cao Cao. There are two opposite accounts on what Guo Jia's advice was to Cao Cao on how to deal with Liu Bei. Cao Cao was warned that Liu Bei is a virtuous man and that he should be eliminated because one day he will pose a threat. Guo Jia reminded Cao Cao how he first came to raise his army. By pledging to eliminate tyrants and to fight for the people, he could attract many talented officers. If Cao Cao was to turn on Liu Bei, he would become known as someone who harms men of virtue, then who would help him achieve his goals. A 3rd century text called Fuji states the complete opposite, saying that it was in fact Guo Jia that pushed Cao Cao to eliminate Liu Bei early. It describes how Guo Jia and Chen Yu panicked over the missed opportunity when Cao Cao sent Liu Bei to attack Yuan Shu, whereafter Liu Bei turned against them and fled. In the year 198, Cao Cao invaded Lu Bu. Guo Jia advised Cao Cao after 3 victories against Lu Bu when he became indecisive about pursuing him into a 4th battle. Guo Jia stated how Lu Bu's strategist Chen Gong always comes late with his plans, so they should seize this opportunity and not allow Lu Bu's forces to rest or think. Guo Jia compared Lu Bu to a mighty warlord who was once defeated by the founding emperor of the Han dynasty, noting how his peerless reputation worked against him once the tide of battle wasn't going his way. This led to his troops' morale plummeting and his ultimate downfall. Cao Cao then marched on and redirected 2 nearby rivers to flood Xiapi Castle, securing victory. This safeguarded his territory from attack, enabling him to focus on Yuan Shao in the north. The Fuji claims before embarking onto the battle at Guandu against Yuan Shao, Cao Cao wanted to deal with Liu Bei, as he was worried about being trapped by the two. Guo Jia's opinion was that Yuan Shao was hesitant and so won't make any hasty decisions, whereas Liu Bei has only just seized Shou province. His situation is unstable and so can be dealt with easily. Cao Cao then immediately led an army and effortlessly defeated Liu Bei, forcing him to flee yet again to Hebei in Yuan Shao's territory. However, a Jin dynasty historian, Pei Songzhi, comments that it was not Guo Jia that came up with this plan, but Cao Cao himself, as it is pointed out in his biography, the Sanguozhi. Quickly defeating Liu Bei could have just been the obvious next move, which Cao Cao and Guo Jia both agreed upon, and after a short discussion they just went ahead with it. Cao Cao finally engaged Yuan Shao at Guandu, but became worried when he heard news that Sun Ce was planning to launch a surprise attack on Cao Cao's capital, Xuchang, whilst he was away. Guo Jia settled Cao Cao's worries when he predicted Sun Ce's downfall at the hands of assassins or common folk, as he had recently conquered the lands in Jiangdong, where he killed many men with loyal followers. As predicted, Xu Gong assassinated Sun Ce before he could carry out his invasion of Wei. Pei Shongzhi states this prediction from Guo Jia displays his foresight but not his brilliance, as he knew the outcome but did not know precisely when Sun Ce would be killed. Pei Shongzhi feels it is purely coincidental that Sun Ce was murdered in the same year he was planning to attack Xuchang. Cao Cao went on to defeat Yuan Shao, who passed away 2 years later. As he loved his sons deeply and could not decide on an heir, his lands were divided equally among them. Guo Jia advised to ignore them and to focus south on Liu Biao, because if Cao Cao was to engage one of the Yuan brothers, they would surely unite against him. If they were to leave them, then internal conflict will surely break out, making it much easier to defeat them. Cao Cao was in agreement, and Guo Jia's prediction was correct, as Yuan Tan was defeated by his younger brother. He then fled to Cao Cao seeking aid. Cao Cao agreed to help him, and then crushed Yuan Shang at the Battle of Yi, whereafter he used the same pretense to eliminate Yuan Tan at the Battle of Nanpi. Guo Jia was recognized by the emperor for his contributions and was promoted as the Marquis of Weiyang village. Yuan Shang had fled to his second brother, Yuan Shi, who was with the Wuhan tribes, and they needed to be dealt with quickly. The problem that the capital city, Xuchang, would be exposed whilst Cao Cao and his armies are busy far away came up again, because Liu Bei had now fled south and was serving under Liu Biao. Many generals and officials worried that Liu Bei now posed a threat with his new position. Guo Jia laid out how easy it would be to eliminate Yuan Shi and the Wuhan tribes, as they are very far away, This deludes them with a false sense of security, and they won't bother to set up any proper defences, so a surprise attack is guaranteed to catch them off guard. Cao Cao's new territories in the north are subjugated by fear of his military might, and he has yet to win them over with benevolence, whereas Yuan Shao treated the ethnic minorities well, and they would surely rally to the Yuan brothers if left alone for too long. Guo Jia also pointed out that Liu Biao was distrustful of Liu Bei, as the latter was far more capable. As a result, Liu Biao would not issue Liu Bei any major roles out of fear he becomes more popular, whilst at the same time he won't task Liu Bei with any minor roles in fear that he resigns. With all this in mind, Guo Jia claimed that Cao Cao could empty his territories to campaign far away and would have no worries. Cao Cao's army reached Yi after a long march and wanted to rest. Guo Jia said a swift army is powerful. He advised to leave behind the heavy baggage and to launch a surprise attack with the light troops, as it was critical that the enemy did not learn of their whereabouts. Cao Cao led his troops through a secret passage at Lulong Pass, which led to the Battle of White Wolf Mountain in the year 207. The Wuhan tribes led by Ta Dun and the Yuan brothers were caught off guard. They tried to quickly organise their troops but were soon defeated. This victory secured the northern territories for Cao Cao, making his kingdom of Wei by far the most powerful in the land at the time. Following this victory, Guo Jia fell ill and passed away, which deeply troubled Cao Cao. He grieved his death at such a young age, as Cao Cao intended to pass on his responsibilities to Guo Jia after his own death. He stated how only Guo Jia knew what was on his mind. Cao Cao then wrote a letter to the emperor where he vouched for Guo Jia's contributions towards the empire. He explained how whenever Cao Cao could not decide on what to do, there was a discussion between them both, and Guo Jia was the one that would help him come to his decisions. He urged the emperor to reward Guo Jia's family, which he did, as well as granting him the posthumous title Marquis Zhen. After Cao Cao's defeat at the Battle of Red Cliffs, a plague broke out in his army as they were retreating. He sighed as he ordered his own boats to be burned and remarked, "If Guo Jia were here today, I would not have ended up like this." He mourned Guo Jia's untimely passing once more and then again numerous times in letters to Shun Yu.